ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Life's Milkshake Moment with health coach Joe D.
Soy Marta Isabel Rojas Cortés, representante legal de la Fundación La Casa Sobre la Roca, entidad sin ánimo de lucro creada el 15 de marzo del 2018 en el corregimiento de Chagres, municipio de Jamundí. Un elemento principal del objeto social de la Fundación es la recuperación del patrimonio cultural ancestral afrodescendiente. Por esta razón, el quehacer cultural de la Fundación reside en las actividades artísticas y musicales. La Fundación La Casa Sobre la Roca cuenta en la actualidad con una serie de programas de formación dirigidos principalmente a la niñez y a la juventud. Estos son algunos de los programas que ofrecemos. La Escuela de Modelaje Afro, que busca inculcar la importancia de valorar nuestras costumbres con los peinados, vestuarios y maquillajes propios de la cultura afrocolombiana.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Life's Milkshake Moments. I am Dr. Jody Barrett, the top foundational health coach in North America, and I'm here to give you hope. Hope for foundational hope for you, foundational hope in your health, and foundational hope for your living in all 6 pillars of our life. We talked about this every single episode, talking about spiritual pillar, the physical pillar, the mental pillar, emotional and social. But today we're talking about the financial pillar that's on everybody's mind right now and right at this time. And we have just a jam-packed, amazing guest and an amazing show for you today. What I wanted to say, so Jody, what are you doing with this Spanish thing going on? That was La Casa de Sobre in Colombia. It is the fundación that is, and which is the foundation, and it is bringing together not only the elderly that have no one, perhaps, and orphans that definitely have no one. It's bridging the gap with the generations. And this is one of the amazing charities that when we had the Power of a Woman Ignite Your Life event, which I still have the banner because it's just the afterglow of what KP Media allowed us to have 30 speakers, 6.5+ hours, and being able to raise money for this amazing foundation and also for the St. John's Women's Orphanage women's shelter in Florida, but also to do something special for the orphans in Cambodia, the Cambodia School of Hope, where with Ignite Publishing, we are building schools so they can actually have books, have a desk, have a life, and a hope for so much more in the future. So you can go to powerofawoman.book.com. You can also go to womenpower.life. Click the donation button. It is still there. It is still live, and you can donate any amount. Maybe that Starbucks coffee. Maybe it's just a meal. It will make all the difference, not only to the Fundación de la Ropa Sobre in Colombia, also for the Women's Refuge in Florida, also for the Cambodia School of Hope, but also it will make a difference with you financially, because when you give, it makes all the difference. So let's get into our financial pillar, shall we? A little bit about me, my background, 42 years as a health coach. I have been able, and it is absolutely my honor, to see 1 million pounds of toxic fat lost with a 5% recidivism rate. Only 5% of my clients getting it back, because information is power, but transformation is eternal. Now it's over 2,000 COVID and COVID-related clients that have come through my door when I thought I was retired, selling my practice January 2020, and then knowing, as my husband said, Jody, just how much yoga are you going to do? I just decided to go back in service, in absolutely seeing these COVID related situations, people regain their health, reclaim their life, and go on to amazing things. And for our guest here tonight, as a corporate consultant and a health coach, way back in the day, BM, before marriage, before the Big Bob Bear, it was over 1,200 corporate clients, of which all NCAA colleges, including, I kept this as a surprise for you, Joss, Sacramento State. I showed them the 21 Days to Peak Performance, my program. So it can be for anyone, any people, any time, any situation, any age, that you can reclaim your life, because energy creates vitality, which transcends to longevity. You know me, little Jody, born and raised in small town Montana. That town had one red light. And when I left, there were no traffic lights. I guess maybe I took that light with me. There's a four-way stop. I'm going back for my 50th high school class reunion. And I'm going to say, once again, I took that trail because I had a vision. I knew that I had a talent. When I was a little girl, I found I could sing, I could sing, I could sing. And sing I did. But my mother, who could ill afford these music lessons, she poured into me. And what she did, finding money for the things that were so important, and sacrificing to save for my sister and I, sacrificing to give me this opportunity to cultivate my talent. She did something I know that our guest here tonight, our just esteemed guest and financial expert, is going to say, to save that money first. She saved it for her faith-based giving, and she saved it for her girls. Well, as you know, I got the opportunity to sing with the New York City Opera, to sing all over concert stages and halls all over North America, in Australia, in Europe, because my mother saved and sacrificed in that order. She saved for what's important. So decide what you want financially, decide how you want to get it, and then be about your business, because this widow woman created generational wealth that, in my trust, has just been exhausted this year. And she died in 1982. That, to me, is certainly something worth looking at. And she was a teacher. My dad was a teacher. They didn't have a lot of means, but they figured out the way to make money mind them. See, like money, health isn't something you do. It's who you are along life's journey. Are you ready to go with me on this financial segment? I am so excited about this, because so many times as entrepreneurs, we spend all of our health trying to gain wealth. And then at the end stage, we spend all of our wealth trying to get our health. I know that our esteemed guest, Josh Payne, knows how to create a plan for you, how to create something about this life's milkshake moment with health and wealth, health and wealth, health and wealth. It's kind of like the baseball man. It's hand in glove. Bad pun, had to say it. Just know, as we focus on health in all 6 arenas of our life, those pillars of human existence, tonight, as I said, we're focusing on the financial sector. As a health coach and nutritionist, I know it's cortisol, it's stress. Have we had enough stress lately? It's been 2 years. Stress is the underlying cause of all disease. I say Uncle Harry and Harriet, now that we're talking about women's health, didn't die of a heart attack. She died of inflammation. But the underlying cause of inflammation is stress. And financial stress is number one. So before we dive on in, gotta say it, being a swimmer this time of year, before we delve into this, I want to just take a moment and just say, welcome, Ignite Publishing. Now being a part of our esteemed sponsorship with KP Media, our new sponsor. Just get ready to hear more about Ignite Publishing. We know that we've had the book with Les Brown, Ignite the Hunger in You, behind, which I'm going to bring up with our guest, The Science of Getting Rich. but it's truly a manual as well. But get ready, next month, we are igniting the world with Ignite Wisdom. So let's just get acquainted with Ignite Publishing. Welcome, Ignite, to the KP Media sponsorship family.
Ignite possibilities. It's the idea that anything is possible. In fact, anything and everything is absolutely possible. We just need to start believing in that. There's a lot of conversations going on the planet, and one of them needs to be about possibilities. We need to inspire and ignite possibilities in all of our minds once again to believe that things are possible. We can change the planet when we step into the idea that what is possible is absolutely possible, and we can go after that. We can do that. We can dream more. We can aspire for more. We can have more. We can include more. We can create more. We just have to believe it. Start doing it. Working in that direction. Having that conversation. Understanding that what's possible is truly impossible in each of us. Igniting possibilities. That's the idea. That's what we need to start talking about. Ignite possibilities in me, in you, in everyone, in humanity. When we raise ourselves up, we raise each other up, and when we start going after what's possible in our own lives, we give permission for everyone, every single person on the planet to go after what's possible for them. Ignite possibilities. Ignite a possibility in you, ignite possibilities in someone else, and we can change the world.
So let's get ready to ignite possibilities. Ignite possibilities in you and your finances. The top 5 financial worries that I have found it was in Success Magazine. I'm going to start with number 5, is just getting by to cover basic living expenses. These were on people's minds the beginning of 2022. Number 4 is supporting children. Number 3 is building emergency savings. Number 2, saving for retirement. And number 1 is paying off debt. I can tell you, Josh Payne, my guest here tonight, is somebody with a servant's heart. Boy, he gets down in the nitty gritty. He gets down into doing it the right way. Josh Payne is a Silicon Valley speaker, mentor, and financial coach. Get ready. Put your seatbelt on. He's worked in the financial services industry for over 13 years. He's mentored, trained, and developed 150 licensed agents in the United States alone. And he might have room for you. I don't know. But he specializes in investments, insurance, and mortgage. He is driven. He said before we did this, he absolutely does 12 appointments, not a week, not a month, a day. Is he an expert? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He goes across the financial education and resource boundaries that other agents, other mentors, other experts do not do. He is a one of a kind. He's on a mission so that every single family, you're going to love this mission statement, in our country that has a fundamental plan. That's that foundations, the fundamentals, a fundamental plan, a clear direction for a successful financial future. He is currently in 16 states. He will get to the other 34 in the next 24 months. I know he will, because he's driven. He's driven with a passion and a mission. Yes, he grew up in Sacramento, California. He was an accomplished athlete. I already gave that away. He played for Division I Sacramento State. He was an MVP. He was in Sports Illustrated's first team All-American, and he was inducted into the 2017 Sacramento State Baseball Hall of Fame. You know how I love these athletes. And Big Ten Western Conference, it goes on, and so to his accolades. He witnessed many successful athletes, however, when they were in their pros, they got done, they had no money, and he became absolutely riveted on turning this around for their financial future. His wife, Tracy, and Josh, they partner in the business, just like we saw on Saturday with Jay Nolan and his wife, Lena, the power of a man behind the power of a woman. and the power of a woman from the perspective of real men. They are partners in all things. I mean, it's one thing to be under the same roof in their house, but to be real royalty, you can see them all over Instagram. They just have a love and passion for each other, not only professionally, but personally. He's helped athletes with his coaching abilities, yes, but he's also recognized in the financial services sector. He extends his reach, delivering a powerful message of financial literacy. Dame Doria Cordova talks about that financial literacy and entrepreneurship, heart-centered entrepreneurship, and he does it to communities all over the country. He's energetic. He's an inspiring leader. He's going to be standing up when he delivers his speech because you just feel him. I think about what my husband's favorite quote when I was so excited he found this new shipwreck, and he's an expert archaeologist. No one does, but Bob Baer does. And I'm going to say, this is what Josh Payne is to this world. Bob looked at me when I said, it's so exciting. Are we going to get the word out there, honey? And he goes, when you're the best, baby, people will feel you. Josh Payne is the best. You're going to feel him. And I can tell you, with his 12 appointments a day, I met him in Clubhouse with Jay Nolan's 1% Only Club. I am so grateful that I met him because you just feel him. And we call him the Financial Fireman. Get ready with your extinguishers because there's going to be some heat on this TV show with KP Media's Life's Milkshake Moment. There is hope. Josh Payne, welcome. Unmute. Oh, well, okay, let's.
There we go.
There we go. Josh Payne, welcome. I'm going to do it again. Josh Payne, welcome.
You are amazing. It is my honor to be here with you, Dr. Jody Baer. You are one in a million. The world is better because you are here, and I'm better because you're here, and because I get to associate with people like yourself, and I'm just grateful. I'm so excited to be here, and what an amazing opening you did on your show, and all of the work you do to help others, man, is so inspiring. And I thank you for that.
And I thank you for your work, and thank you for your compliment. I received this. Now I want to get in to the Josh Payne, the little baseball boy in Sacramento. Just give us a little bit of how you found your skill and how you've used this skill to help others professionally, because it works both ways.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, since I was 5 years old, my dream was to play professional baseball. I've got a presentation I do a lot, and it has a picture of me when I was 5 years old, and it has a picture of me when I was 9. You could never find me without a baseball glove, bat, ball in hand, and my entire dream and focus was to play professional baseball, and everything was headed that way. I was never the most gifted, but what I tell people is I say I might have been 70% of the talent of the guys I played with at the higher levels, but I was 300% of the work ethic. And that work ethic elevated whatever lack I had in talent, elevated, and ultimately was at the top of my game. As you mentioned, was all conference, appeared in Sports Illustrated, MVP, Hall of Fame, a lot of great accolades, but everything ended for the next level one day when I found myself laying on my back, staring up at the sky after going through a back injury. And I remember when that happened, Jody, I was laying there. I knew the game of baseball. I knew the business. I wasn't that multi-million-dollar athlete, right? I had a huge work ethic, but at that level, once you're injured and you're at the talent level I was at, it's a business. And I knew at that point in time, my dream had gone away. But not only my dream, but also the dream of complete family financial independence for generations that I dreamed of creating through playing the game that I loved. And I remember when that happened, and I fell into a bit of a depression. I didn't know what I was going to do. But I tell you what, I eventually looked at it and I said, listen here, you're an athlete, you're competitive, you're going to stand up, you're going to dust yourself off, The dream, the vehicle had changed, but the dream was still there. And for me, it was finding that next vehicle that was going to enable me to accomplish the dreams I had set forth for my family. And it was during that time that this financial industry, right? If you kind of fast forward a few years, I went through some big changes professionally. I was surrounded all of a sudden professionally in the golf industry by some of the richest people in the world, running very high-end private country clubs here in the Silicon Valley in California. And it was at 31 years old, I decided I was going to get my second education in that. I started looking at all these people I was surrounded by, and I realized at that point in time, their stories they were telling were much different than the stories I was telling myself and everyone else at that point in my life. And I looked at them and I thought, man, like I realized and made the conscious decision that I was going to unlearn everything I'd ever been taught about business, success, career, and I was going to learn it, relearn it from people that had the life that I wanted. See, I did that as an athlete.
Yes.
I associated with the very best professional athletes, Major League Baseball players coming out of Sacramento. And so as an athlete, I knew that very, very clearly. But when I transitioned out of that because of the injury, I lost that way. But then I found it again. And when I realized that and I connected the dots, I said, I'm going to unlearn everything I've been taught. I'm going to learn it from the people that have what I want. And never again am I going to listen to anybody about my future that does not live the quality of life that I want. Because if I do, when I accept somebody's advice, I immediately accept their quality of life. Let me say that again.
Amen. Say that again.
When I accept somebody's advice, I immediately accept their quality of life. Therefore, if they do not have the life that I want, I cannot listen to them, because if I do, I'm just going to get more of what they already have. And that's not what I wanted. I wanted what the people I was surrounded with at that time had at a higher level. And so I knew I had to listen to the people that had what I wanted. And from there, I transitioned. I had some great mentorship. And that's what really catapulted me out of being an employee into entrepreneurship. Never growing up did I ever think I would be in financial services. But the day that I sat down and Tracy and I sat down and we had our financial plan put in place, and I realized what I did not know.
Oh boy. And
I thought to myself, how in the world did I not know this simple, fundamental information? We're not talking like very high level stuff, no, simple, fundamental stuff. But without it, we didn't stand a chance.
And nobody does. So I want to back up. Because you are so on a roll and there's so much to unpack with you. Life's milkshake moment, Josh. When you're talking about that life's milkshake moment, you had one on your back and you chose your ingredients wisely. By the way, why would a health coach pick a milkshake? Because life is that delicious. And your life is that delicious that you can build those ingredients anyway. So you did. And that's a quality that only 1%ers have. And then you're sitting here with Tracy and you're thinking, okay, like-minded. And I'm going to give you credit, but I want you, after we're all done, to put this in the chat, because I want you to say it the 3-peat, and we're going to get it for 3 men on base. You adapt the lifestyle you want. Please say that quote one more time.
I realized that the second I accept somebody's advice, I immediately accept their quality of life.
And boy, you made a decision. I want to go to the man that you ran into in the golf course. I remember that was one of the first stories I heard you say on Clubhouse. And he gave you this piece of advice.
Yeah.
Would you share that?
Yes, absolutely. Well, we had just finished playing golf. Now, you know, the clientele, of which I had none of their money, but they, you know, we're talking very, very successful. Some names that are household names, right? Because I'm here in the Silicon Valley. Those founders of big companies were members of mine. And I was playing golf with a guy and he said, Josh, I want to have lunch with you. And I said, sure, let's go out to the grill. And so we'd done, you know, dozens of times. And we sat down and he pulled out a brown recycled napkin and he drew out on the recycled napkin what I now know as the cash flow quadrant. And he said to me, this was the moment everything changed in my life. He said to me, Josh, you're amazing at what you do. He said, but what you need to understand, he said, I know what your goals and dreams are. And he said, there's 350 members at this club. And he said, let me tell you something. We all come from different countries, different backgrounds, different businesses. Everything's different except for one thing. You know what that one thing was?
What?
He said, we all own businesses. There are no employees at this club. And he said, you're an employee. You're on this side of the quadrant, and everybody here is on the right side of the quadrant. If you understand the cash flow quadrant, I was on the employee, self-employed side. And he said, everybody here is either a business owner or an investor or both. And he said, here's the problem. He said, 95% of the population, everyone else you listen to out there is on the left-hand side with you. And he said, the problem is that 95% splits 5% of the wealth. And he said, this 5% on the right-hand side, where you want to be, they split 95% of the wealth. And he said, if you want a better quality of life, Josh, you've got to find a way to get from the left-hand side over to the right-hand side. Now, I didn't know this was cash flow quadrant. I didn't know Robert Kiss. I didn't know any of that. At the moment he said that, the sky parted, the sun shined down, and I was like, this is how they do it. This is how it happens. And he said to me this, and I'll finish with this. He said, you need to find somebody who's going where you want to go. You can look into their eyes. You know they're going to get there. They're willing to show you what to do to go with them. And when you find that person, Josh, you unhook your little red wagon, and you hook it onto them because they're going to drag you to the top with them. And at that moment, everything changed.
That moment, that was a milkshake moment. And ladies and gentlemen, did you get out your fire extinguisher with that one? That's the financial fireman that I just love your passion. And I know that I had a question down on my agenda said, why are you unique? I think we're just going to pass over that one. You just gave us that one for sure. But Josh, I want you to have the time that you deserve, because when you talk about your 5 steps, boy, ladies and gentlemen, get out your piece of paper, get out your pen. I know that he'll have a free gift at the end that you can kind of squeeze in and see what this is all about. But this 5 steps to control your life and finances and whatever it is called is phenomenal, just like the phenomenal Josh. Let it rip, Josh.
Yeah. You know, here's the thing about these 5 steps. They're nothing we've never heard before. But there's something about when you hear it in succession at the right time, at the right place, that really begins to make sense.
Yep.
And it's nothing about investments. It's nothing about any products. It's simply about what? Us and our behavior and our mindset towards money. And so the 5 steps are this. Number 1 is to upgrade your thinking. If we want to upgrade our financial life, it starts with upgrading our thinking, understanding that we've got to identify, we all have sort of a money DNA. In other words, that's built based on our environment, the people we surround ourselves with, the information we've received.
Yes.
And if limitations exist in our money DNA, we've got to upgrade that thinking. We've got to reprogram those areas within our thinking about money that may be holding us back, because without reprogramming the limitations in our mindset about money, doesn't matter how much we accumulate, we're going to find a way to come right back down to what we know is comfortable. So number 1 is to upgrade our mindset, upgrade our thinking about money. The second step, once we've upgraded our thinking, now we've got to establish priorities. Oh, this is a good one. Because we're either going to pay now or we're going to pay later. But one way or another, we're going to pay, and that payment's going to be full price. So if we can identify the differences between needs and wants, and we can establish the priorities correctly, we can understand that short-term trade-offs today can lead to long-term freedom tomorrow.
Kind of like what my mother did by
Absolutely.
saving her money so little Jody could have her singing lessons. That was a
Absolutely.
need. Yes, she gave it her
Absolutely.
all. Yes.
So you got upgrading your thinking, Jody. Then you got establishing your priority. Then you got to set your goals. Okay. Look, you can't reach a destination that you don't know exists.
Amen.
Yogi Berra, the great Yankee catcher, said, if you don't know where you're going, you might end up somewhere else. The
Yes.
great writer Mark Twain said, I can help anybody get what they want. What's the problem? I can't find anybody that knows what they want. So we've got to establish, what do I want? What are my goals, right? If you think about it, Earl Nightingale says that the biggest distinguisher between the successful and the unsuccessful is successful people have goals, unsuccessful people don't.
Yes.
Napoleon Hill wrote an entire book on this concept of drifting. And he said the biggest separator between a non-drifter and a drifter is a non-drifter has a definiteness of purpose, and a drifter has no definiteness of purpose and just wanders through life, aimlessly wanders through life without any kind of direction. So it's the setting of the goals. And then listen, what are those? When you start to hit goals, it gives you things to celebrate. It gives you wins along the way. It gives you that momentum towards the desired end result that we're shooting for. So number one is to upgrade the thinking. Number two is to establish priorities. Number three is to set your goals of what you want to achieve. And then number four is to simply pay yourself first. What does that mean, Josh? You take and put yourself at the head of the line. You treat yourself, me, like a bill, like I would pay the PG&E, or I would pay the garbage, or I would pay, the cell phone bill or the car note or the mortgage. You put yourself at the head of the line and you pay yourself first. Now, the biggest question I get is, Josh, I don't have enough money. No, that's because you're trying to wait till the end of the month to pay yourself. When you put yourself at the head of the line, what typically happens is we make the adjustment the rest of the month to the money now being put into our account instead of using it towards the end of the month. Now, here's what happens. You go, well, what if I only have a little bit to start with? Great, because becoming successful financially is about the building of habits, success habits. And when you can start building the success habits, then what happens is, as more income's available, more resources are available, we've already established the habits. And now we just increase the amounts of money that we're putting away towards our goals that we've set forth, right? So to pay yourself first. Now, the rule of thumb, if you were to want a tangible rule of thumb, experts say that number should start by getting to 10% as fast as possible. Get to 10% of your income as fast as possible. And so it's not about then living within your means, like so many people say.
Yes.
We've got to live below our means so we have money available to put away for the future.
Below your means, that 10%.
That's
I've got to say, Josh, I didn't even know when we were going to talk about this, giving my story of my mother. I saw her do this, a teacher, a widow woman, 10% to causes that she cared for, her spiritual welfare, and it was our church. Then you go ahead and 10% of savings, and she really did. I mean, the trust that she set up for my sister and I just finished last month.
Amazing. 40 years. 40 years that lasted. After
she passed, and on a teacher, so anyone could do it because she paid herself first. And I know. Number 5, give me 5. Give me the 5th one, Josh.
Let me recap. Number 1 was upgrade your thinking. Number 2 is establish your priorities. Set your goals. Number 3, pay yourself first. Number 4. And then number 5 is to seek professional guidance and create a plan, right? Seek professional guidance and create a plan. Understand that there's a saying in our business, investments work, investors don't, right? Why? Because we get thrown off by typically 2 emotions. fear and greed, right? So those two emotions can throw us off if we're trying to do it on our own. But if we've got some professional guidance, maybe they can help us along the way to manage those two emotions in the best way to keep us on track towards the end result, and understand that products and services don't make families financially independent. Plans and strategies do. Plans and strategies, having a plan in place towards the future, is the cement that keeps everything together. And so if we can upgrade the thinking, we can establish priorities, we can set our goals, pay ourselves first, and make sure that we've got some guidance there, and that we've got a plan in place. Whatever the vehicles are that become the vehicles, great, but you've got a solid plan in place and guidance that'll help you throughout the journey. Your rates of success will naturally increase to hitting your goals.
Well, Josh, these are so simple. They totally make sense. I know in my own sector, we've done over 1 million pounds of toxic fat. Why? Because the success rate is 90% if you have an accountability and you have a coach. You are the coach's coach as being a financial fireman. You know this stuff. I'm feeling your own podcast with these 5. I've got the 6 pillars of health. You've got the 5 solid steps to control you and your finances. And how important is this in this financial climate? And I said, this has been about 6 months ago. You see, this has been our study book, The Science of Getting Rich. Think about Wallace D. Wallace said it in 1912. Here it is. Nothing is new. Nothing is new. We just repackage it. And I remember when you said on Clubhouse with such wisdom, you said, I am working on keeping positive thoughts for a day, positive thoughts for an hour, positive thoughts for a minute. This is unsolicited, but ladies and gentlemen, do you not think with these 5 steps, and number 5, making sure that you get, and it says at Josh Payne, getting to at Josh Payne, you don't think that you'll be your own MVP of your portfolio. You won't be, your own champion, and you can put yourself on a Wheaties box or your own financial Fortune 500. You're absolutely Sports Illustrated, because you can create the life that you want to live, because he's done it, he's doing it, and he's doing it for so many. I just felt led to say that because it's true. I mean, who wouldn't want to lay down with something simple and have a strategy? But coming back to this with Wallace D. Waddles, and he says that it's sustained, consecutive, positive thoughts. And give us your feeling. You were on your back. That was not a time. You had your own time to say, is there hope? Life's milkshake moment. You turned that around. You went ahead and did the same thing with going ahead and the gentleman that said, hey, dude, you're on the left side of the quadrant. 95% are here. That was a time that sustained, consecutive, positive thoughts. I know your wisdom behind your daily challenge. I also know that this phrase really correlates to financial health.
Yeah.
Please share it. Would you, your thoughts on this?
First of all, isn't it amazing? Amazing. You think about Science of Getting Rich. You think about Think and Grow Rich. You think about As a Man Thinketh, right? These books were written 110 to 120 years ago.
Yes.
And back then, we traveled by horse and buggy. Today, we travel to the metaverse. We travel to space, private flight to space. We travel by electric cars. Yet, the principles of the mind are exactly the same.
Exactly
the same, right? That to me blows my mind. So nothing that's written today is anything new. It's a reminder. It's written in new language. So when we think about books like The Science of Getting Rich, which blew me away when I read it, and I think about the sustained, consistent, positive thought. I had a mentor that said to me very, very early on in business, he said, every day I wake up, My challenge is to go 24 hours, one time in my life before I die, with 100% positive thoughts all day long. And I thought to myself, well, he was worth over $1 billion, and I'm very coachable. And I said, if that's the way he's thinking and he has that challenge every single day, I'm going to take that challenge on. It's been 13 years. I have not accomplished it yet, but I will before I leave this earth. I'll go through an entire day, 24 hours with 100% positive thoughts. Why? Because I keep telling myself that's going to happen. I keep focusing on what I want, not where I'm at, what I want and where I'm going. And I keep focused on daily incremental improvements, getting better 1% a day. And eventually it's all going to click, right?
Oh,
It's that expectancy. It's that gratitude that Earl Nightingale talks about when you get up. It's the expectancy that today's going to be the greatest day of my life, and the gratitude to be so thankful for what we have. And when you put those two things together, the day can't help but be great. Now, am I human? Of course. Am I fired up because I'm an athlete and I got a lot of things that I continuously have to focus on with repetition to improve? Yes. But 24 hours. One 24-hour period before I leave this earth, I'll be 100% positive without a negative thought. You go, well, do you really think that can happen? Yes, because I've already made up my mind, right?
yes.
Does it matter if it happens? No. It's the fact of the journey of getting there and staying focused on that end result that makes the most, that's most important.
And isn't that just like finance? Just like your finances. If your checking account, you look right now, it has low self-esteem, just change something. Make it your life's milkshake moment. Just change, because you can change anything just like the click of a finger. And I know right now we are in unprecedented times. They say 20% annual inflation. I know you gave me a little snippet on this, and yes, we can look at the doom and gloom, or we can decide that we're going to be part of the solution. What kind of advice can you give our audience? Because I know it's going to be a gem.
Yeah. Well, look, in times where we're in challenging times financially, we can continue to cut expenses, and that's probably a good thing, right? Lean and mean, run lean and mean right now, right? Run lean and mean, trim the fat. But at the end of the day, that was for your health side, by the way. But at the end of the day,
Thank you. I was not going to interrupt, but I appreciate it. Yes, lean and mean. That's where we go.
at the end of the day, we have control. I have 100% control of one thing. And that is putting myself in a position that if prices are going up and inflation's out of control, find a way to make more money. Look at this. We've each got 8,760 hours in a year. Now, if you look sleeping 8 hours a night, 40 hours a week, per week, and you look at working 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, at the end of the year, that's 5,840 hours, which means that we all have 3,000 hours per year that we are neither working nor sleeping.
That's a lot.
That is it. That's a ton of time. Do the math on it, right? 3,000 divided by 365 days. That tells you how many hours a day that we have that we are neither sleeping nor working. Focus on finding ways. We live in the United States. We are in a country that enables us anybody a chance to solve problems. When you can find a problem and solve that problem, there's a reward in return for that. Find ways to solve problems. And if you can solve more problems, you can solve bigger problems. We can increase the revenue coming in. And then all of a sudden, that increasing inflation and all that becomes very manageable. Why? Because we took the opportunity to increase our income to handle the increase in cost of goods. And that really, because we can only cut so much. I can only cut so much. At some point, I got to find a way to increase revenue in. And this is a great opportunity to do so. Find a way to solve problems and watch that revenue increase.
solving problems. And I thought, just because math was not my best, English was better than math. But that's 8.2 hours, Josh. I just figured up that is 8 hours a day. And we all know we watch a little bit too much news and whatever. 8 hours a day. What could we always talk? Well, I worked 8 hours a day. What if you took half of that, Josh, and put it towards an income stream? What would happen to your people's portfolio that say, "Oh, I don't have enough. Inflation is just killing me." What would happen?
Right. Find a problem to solve. There's so much opportunity with every adversity.
Yes.
There's a seed of equal and opposite opportunity. Just what side of the line do I want to look on? I want to find the opportunity. I want to focus on the way to take advantage of it so that I don't have to compromise where I want to go. I'm going to find a way to adapt. That's what we learned with COVID, didn't we?
Boy, didn't we. Sold my practice in January, went back at it in February. Like I said earlier, my husband said, just how many times are you going to do yoga per day? People need you. People need what Jody. And we just went about our work. Josh, I gotta say, these nuggets, I've been writing notes like I'm in class. Adversity, opportunity, the life you want, make sure you get the right advice and the 5 ways to control, to upgrade, to establish your priorities, your goals. Pay yourself first. Seek professional. Just don't seek any professional. Seek this professional at Josh Payne. He's that good. There's a reason they named him the MVP. And MVP, give us, we could be doing this for another 30 minutes, but can we wrap this up and just say, what is your free offer to our guests? If they reach out to you, you're very active on Instagram. You'll just be delighted. Then you will just have 7 hours and 58 minutes if you follow Josh, because those 2-minute videos of yours, they're some of my favorites around. So you can find him on Instagram and Facebook at Josh Payne. What is your
Josh
free
B.
offer,
Payne.
Fisher?
Josh, there's a B in there. Just
Josh B. Payne, because you're going to be wealthy when you go with Josh B. Payne. There we go.
Yeah. So listen, if you want to get more information on the fundamentals of money, here's what you can do. Send me a DM that says send me a DM on Instagram that says Joe D. And what I'll do is I'll send over a complimentary copy of How Money Works, and you can, it's a great place to start to build the foundation to that successful financial future. And any questions you have, feel free to DM me. I'll be happy to help you any way I can at Josh B. Payne. Remember, send a DM to Instagram, Joe D. Okay, and then I'll automatically shoot you that complimentary copy of How Money Works.
And I know that your sector works a little bit differently, but I want to make sure, if you do have a paid offering, if you're not able to do that, is there something else that they want to go to the next level to work? Is there something you can offer?
Yeah. So, I mean, look, if you're motivated and looking to increase income during this time and are looking for that side hustle, shoot me a DM that says side hustle, and I'll send you some incredible information. Or if you just want to get a plan in place, right? If you want to get a fundamental plan, you go, I'm so tired of feeling like I'm in a whirlpool. I want to know what to do to get to my goals and dreams. Send me a DM that just says plan, right? And we'll set a time. We'll get together on Zoom and we'll talk about it, and we'll construct a plan to help you accomplish those goals and dreams. So 3 options there, right? Number 1, you want to get a copy of that How Money Works book, just DM the word Jody, and I'll send that over to you. Number 2 is, if you're looking for a way to increase income during this time, that side hustle, you want to move like I did from employee to business owner, send me the word side hustle, and we can set a time to get together. And if you just want to get a plan in place, you want to make sure that you're doing the right things with your money, feel free to DM me the word plan, and we'll arrange a time to get together one-on-one over Zoom, and we'll have some fun with it. We can talk specifically about your needs.
And if they come and they DM you and they say all the above,
Yep.
because that is how you're going to hit a home run with Josh Payne. I am absolutely so honored that you spent this time with our viewing audience, spend this time with me, because you really are one of a kind. You said so put up your fire extinguisher until you have your meeting with Josh, because you're going to need it then, because he will just come from, as JB and Les and Jay say, these are the heart-centered entrepreneurs. That's what you are, Josh. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being my guest here on Life's Milkshake Moment. You built it with great ice cream, and I'm telling you, there are many cherries on top. Thank you, Josh, for being here. And now for our commercial break. In honor of Women's Health Month, it's still on my backdrop here. When we did the Power of a Woman Ignite Your Life event, JB Owen, the CEO and founder of Ignite Publishing, relaunched for her second edition their first book. Now they're up to 18. It was Ignite Your Life for Women. All the women in there talking about women's health issues. So you can get that copy at igniteyou.life, and you can get a copy of The Power of the Woman from the perspective of real men at powerofawomanbook.com. Let me tell you a little bit about this book. I think there are only 176 of these, the special edition hardcover copies. My coach and mentor, Jay Nolan, who has written what I believe is the quintessential book on relationships, without a doubt. Well, the title, The Power of a Woman, Women's Health Month, from the perspective of real men. See, Josh Payne is that real man, and he has a powerful wife in Tracy coming with him on their journey. It is absolutely in honor of Women's Health Month. There are 176, I was correct on that, copies left. Okay, you get a stamped autograph edition by the author, a 1-year access to 365 confidential. It is a 3-month of the audio immersion with confidence tones. You get the app, 1 month of a silver Travel and You luxury platform that is out, and also you get also the silver access to the social media automated marketing platform and free access to The Power of a Woman. It is a men and women's course. Both, don't we need that? It's not the battle of the sexes. We're not on one planet and the other, Mars and Venus. We need the harmony of the sexes. This package is $1,100 value for the price of this book. So it is really well worth the $229 investment. So go to powerofawomanbook.com. And I want to let y'all know that because of spring break, we put aside and we rescheduled the 5 days to pristine clean. This is in honor of spring. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like you've got belly bloat, stress in your life, and sleep? Do you need more energy? Have you seen winter weight gain? Oh my goodness, you've taken off the sweater to put on the suit. You know what the suit is? It is the bathing suit, only to find belly bloat, bulges, you name it. And the alkaline foods that we had with the 5 weeks to foundational health, what do I do to eat alkaline, to get this energy, to keep my body flowing in the healthy quadrant, not in the acidic quadrant? And how do I combine the right foods? Well, let Let me ask you this. Which vitamin do you think Health Coach Jody is going to say? Is it vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E? Well, I believe the most important environment in that is vitamin E, vitamin me. So take stock. If you have any of these 5 issues, I suggest that you take several doses of vitamin me. So today you can start functioning at your best. DM me at healthcoachjody.com. You say KP Media, and I will know that the BOGO that I'm doing right now will be extended. You can get a BOGO price. Go ahead and get a drastically discounted price for these 5 days and bring a friend as well. Just do it. Do it. Do it. Do it for you. Do it for your family, because when you keep your health in our financial sector, you can build more wealth. So remember, you can always find me on www.healthcoachjody.com. That's Jody with 2 E's, at Health Coach Jody. That's all my social media platforms. But if you just want to do old school and just give me a call at my office, 800-820-0854. That's 800-820-0854. I want to thank Josh Payne. I knew that he would hit it out of the park being a baseball man. I knew that it would be a grand slam home run, but he has given you the opportunity to be a true MVP by hitting this home run like he empowered us to do in your financial health. He is now empowering you to do the same. So remember, until next time, health is not something you do, but is who you are along life's journey. I want to thank KP Media one more time for making this platform available for our Power of a Woman Ignite Your Life for Women's event. It is listed under events.kpmedia.tv. You can also go to my YouTube channel, Jody Bear, it's Jody with 2 E's, and see it there. And don't forget to give your donation to the Fundación de Sobre Europa, the Women's Refuge in St. Johns County, and also the Cambodia School of Hope, to educate, to save women from abuse, and to socialize orphans spanning the generations with the elderly. Because life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely, and when you do, your financial wealth, it will be oh so sweet. Your ultimate wealth in your life, it's health and wealth. As I said earlier, it's like hand and glove. Being the young boy, Josh Payne, 5 years old, never seeing a picture that he has as a child without a mitt. Make it your mitt, the ball that you're going to catch in center field for you and your wealth. Together, we can make this milkshake moment oh so sweet. So until next time, we'll be talking about spiritual health. We're going to be talking about the spiritual pillar of health. I'm very honored to bring one of my new authors from Ignite Wisdom onto the stage next Wednesday to round out Women's Health Month. And it is Melissa Woodall. She is a screenplay writer. She is writing in conjunction with me on the White Glove program, and she is also being an author in the compilation book, Ignite Wisdom. You will hear spiritual wisdom, and we all need that. So until next week, remember, there is hope. And this is Dr. J saying, have a healthy day.